just so we've definitely got it recorded. That's you host now, and I'm going to unmute myself, to mute myself rather, and pass it.
Lynn's now muted herself, which means that I don't know what she's saying. Never mind.
I was all right. I was just saying I'm passing on to you. Sorry.
Thank you. It's all right. Okay. Where am I? Slideshow. From the beginning. Here we go. Well, tonight, you see, we're going to go back to basics as well, because you see, without a strong catalogue customer base, we don't have a business, or certainly you won't earn. If you have huge numbers of people in your business, but you're not doing any retail, then the chances are your check's not going to be where you want it to be. I've lost a page.
You haven't missed the welcome. That's what I was just going to say.
It just didn't start. So here we are. Welcome to the team. This week we have 3 new members: Laura Taylor Black, Leanne Young, and Lee Wallace. So well done making the decision to join, and also very well done to the people who have spent the time bringing you into the business, but now your hard work begins, because this is just the start. The first thing, it may well be, tonight we are going to concentrate on catalogues, which when we joined the business was all we had. And I still use catalogues. There's a number of things here, and Clean Easy though, before we go on to the catalogues, Clean Easy have really made the incentives great for us at the beginning of this year. They've made it so easy for us to want to build a business, and it still all starts with the catalogues. The Go 18, I noticed Matthew had put up a message saying he wanted to go 18, so no pressure there, Matthew, now that I've made it quite public. And then if anyone else wants to do exactly the same, by all means do that at the end. What is Go 18? Well, for those of you who haven't hit 18%, you achieve 18%, you hold that as a minimum for 6 months. That doesn't mean to say that you have to hover there at 18% for 6 months, but hit it, hold it as a minimum, progress forward, which is what you want to do. Introduce 5 people, show them how to make money, a minimum of 500 bonus points. But I will say though, at that point is 500 bonus points will make you money, but it won't make your new people money. So really, you want to show them how to do a minimum of £1,000 of retail, and then they'll make money. So 5 new people who do a minimum of 500 bonus points over the periods 1 to 13, and you qualify for the luxury stay in a UK hotel with a Clean Easy seminar and a formal evening dinner with entertainment. Now, I heard Michael Katka mention gala on Saturday, so you know it may not be, but guess that's a good incentive. That's a good incentive. But how will you get to Go 18? Well, nice and simple. They've got another incentive: activate, build, collect, ABC. So sponsor or introduce 1 new person into the business between periods 1 and 4. This is to get you into the habit, folks. Teach that person how to do a minimum of 500 bonus points in paid for sales. That means they don't just order the products, but they have to pay for the products as well, between periods 1 and 5. And the person who introduced them, their sponsor, will earn £50. Now, if there's any new people sitting there saying, that's not very fair, well, guess what? It's open to you too. All you have to do is exactly the same, and you'll earn money too. Now, the great thing is that one new person might only do 500 bonus points, but if they continue to retail up to a maximum of 2,000 bonus points, you get £50 for every 500 bonus points in that period, 1 to 5. So bring in lots and lots of people in periods 1 to 4, and make sure they're all qualifying for period 5. So that's how you make some money, but it also moves you on to the Go 18. But how do you get started? Oh, well, we've got the welcome rewards as well, because let's not forget about those. This is your new person who can start for just £20. You know, see if you take that down. If one person goes out who's totally skint, no money, but they like a cup of coffee every couple of days, they like to go out as a wee treat. Well, see if they don't treat themselves for 4 weeks, 2 cups of coffee a day, they can join Clean Easy and treat themselves forever more. And I think it's worthwhile remembering, because it is only £20, and that's to get started with or without the catalogues. If they only want to make one payment, put through 125 bonus points in your first 30 days, you'll get 50 free catalogues. But put through 500 bonus points in your first 30 days, you'll get 100 free catalogues. Keep going. Put through 1,000 bonus points in your first 60 days, you've got another, oh, it's disappeared, sorry. You've got another 100 free catalogues. I hope it doesn't surface somewhere else in another slide. That's all I can say. But you never know, because my computer started updating itself without me telling it to. How dare it? So there's 250 catalogues that the new person can qualify for, which of course is going to help them to reach their Go 18 or their ABC rewards. So you're getting ready to get started. You've registered with Clean Easy, and I am, as I said, going to concentrate wholly on the catalogues. You may think that you know your catalogue retail inside out. Well, I've been listening to it for years and years and years, and I still happened to notice something when someone did a retail training. And if you don't think you need to learn, that's great. But remember, it's a network marketing company. It's a business that introduces other people. So you're going to be teaching people. So you've registered with Clean Easy, and your catalogues will arrive at the moment within 2 working days. The first thing your sponsor does is email or message the templates to you that we use for our retail. Now, I appreciate that some groups have some templates, other groups have others. What I'm doing is showing you what our group uses. Best to save those templates in a folder in your PC. We used to split them between retail and sponsoring. You can still do that, or you can break them down even further depending on what you want. Then you want to print them out, or print out and complete your weekly planner. That's the first thing to do. Then you go on and amend your callbacks, your thank you for your order, your sorry I missed you, sorry I missed you again if you used it. I stopped using it only because I got some really cheeky comments, and I reckoned I was in the business of trying to attract customers, not get rid of them. So I kind of don't always use it. I sometimes write a wee note instead on the pack of sorry I missed you instead. But all you're going to need to do to those templates is add your name, your contact number, and your online shop details. Then you print and photocopy the number that you'll need, the days you need them for, after you've completed the weekly planner. And this weekly planner will just show you absolutely everything that you need to do and need to think about. The first you want to do, though, is enter your own commitments, whether it be work, children, part-time work, full-time work. We worked around full-time jobs. Jim worked shifts. It was only 2 weeks, so we needed 2 weekly planners. Some people do 3, 4 week shifts. Just get your planner out and start working it. If your days change, there's going to be some kind of pattern to it. Try to work with the system, not against it, because this is here to help you, not to hinder you, I promise you. The meetings and the trainings, well, we have those online every week, as do most other groups, but we also have a training in a hotel once every 4 weeks. And it's good to meet up with people in the flesh as opposed to just online. Then we look at the retail plan and then the activity, because what you're going to put on here is your online retailing posts, unless of course you're set against the social media sites. But generally people, will find their platform. So plan in some retail posts, some sponsoring ads if that's what you want to do, and also some fish pond. But perhaps the first thing you should put in that planner if you want to build a business is when you're going to write your Warren Market list. Because, well, let's think back to Rob Foster's training. Who were his goals? Who were Lynn's goals? Lots of Warren Market. Here are the templates that I use. They're all done on A4, they're all done on Word, and the callbacks, which is the first one on the left of the page, is what we call a callback for the front of the catalogue. You'll see it tells people who we are, when we're coming back. We ask them to leave it out in the doorstep. We give them a note of how they can find us online, and we also ask them if they know anybody looking for extra income. And I got another one completed the other day when we collected the catalogues yesterday. Lo and behold, there was a wee name on it. And if you're blanket dropping, I would say that's when you get a lot more names. So it makes up for all the other things. But don't cut that bottom bit off. I know a lot of people do. Please don't. And if you don't want the people to talk to those people, let your upline talk to them on your behalf. They'll be more than happy to do that for you. Then we've got a thank you for your order. We tell them when we'll deliver it. We always know when we're going to deliver it, and I'll show you how. And I always ask them if they'll just give me a phone. And believe it or not, people do. It still surprises me, because this is our second customer base we've built. And in the first customer base, nobody ever phoned me. They just let me go back again because they knew I would. And of course, you've got a contact number again. Sorry I missed you. I didn't miss them at all. They just didn't put the book out. But I'm not going to tell them that. I'm going to be polite. Sorry I missed you. I always feel like scoring out and saying you've never left out again. But that's only when I'm feeling a wee bit trapped. I'm telling them when we're going back again. Now you'll notice that on my callbacks, it's Monday morning. That should really say Tuesday morning, not just Tuesday. But yes, it does say Tuesday morning in the ones that are actually put out. We go back nice and quick for them, as quickly as we can, so people don't forget again. Because, you know, in my tolerant times, I realise people have busy lives, and it's a clean, easy catalogue. It's important to us, but it's not just so important to everyone else. So what I'm going to do is explain to you what we mean, and all this can be done before the catalogues are even, the catalogues you've registered, you can do all of this before your catalogues arrive, and we should be doing it with our new people. So we're on the starting line, as that wee man up there is on his suit. And what's the difference between posting and placing? Well, posting's very simple. You watch the postman, and that's what he does. He puts the things through the letterbox. We're going to do exactly the same. We do have to deliver higher numbers of catalogues if we're popping them through letterboxes. 1 in 10 will buy, and the average order from a collected catalogue is about £10. Now, everybody's averages may differ in their own area, but once you start delivering and collecting your catalogues, you'll be able to ascertain your own averages too. But the national average is around £1 a book, 1 in 10. Placing is equally simple. It's simply knocking on the door saying, I'm delivering a Clean Easy catalogue and I'm collecting it on Monday, and hold the book out whilst you're doing it. Jim and I did this only because we had no callbacks and we didn't have a computer to print them off. It was a while ago, and we hadn't got ourselves organised. And having had the catalogues in the house for a wee while, we decided that really we should get them out, because I just didn't want to see them sitting there looking at me and nothing being done with them. And when I went to talk to someone, I held the book in front of me and I said, hi there, I'm delivering a Clean Easy catalogue and I'm collecting it on Monday. And people would just look at me and say, oh, right, no. And away I would go. Jim took 50 catalogues and I took 50 catalogues. And when Jim was finished, being the good husband that he is, he went and sat in the car and watched me. And then called me over and said, Jane, they're going to have to assault you to get the book from you. Hold your arm out. I thought, oh, right. And believe it or not, it worked. He didn't offer to help me. He just told me what I was doing wrong. That caused a wee bit of a stooshy, but never mind, we got there and kept going. If you've only got 50 catalogues, really don't post. I know we only suggest things, but you're really not going to get the averages with 50 books. Or if you live in an area with scattered housing, I mean, if you have to go 2 miles up a farm road and you're going to pop it through a letterbox, do you want to go back if you haven't seen the person? And maybe if they haven't seen a catalogue before now, you're going to have to go back again, maybe to collect that book. So I would always suggest that knocking on the door is the easy or preferred method. The return per catalogue is a bit higher. It's £2, but be aware, to get 100 books out knocking doors will take you as long as putting out 300 to 400 books through a letterbox. It's just the way it works. The pros and cons. When you're posting them, you can do it anytime it suits you. All of the people that you know, it's not just the person who comes to the door that will look at the cat that makes the decision. If you pop it through a letterbox, if there's several people in a house, anyone will be able to look at it. But you do generally have more stragglers to collect until people get used to you and your catalogue. With placing them, you get fewer stragglers because you're telling people when you're going to come back, as well as having it written on the front of your book. You're less likely to lose a catalogue. The person that opens the door, though, might say, no, my wife never looks at them, without asking if the wife actually would like to look at them. And you are restricted to the times that you can deliver. It's not always a good idea knocking the door at 9 o'clock in the morning. One, there might not be anybody in, or it might be a night shift worker. You just don't know. Similarly, though, if you go at 6 o'clock at night, people are bathing their children, especially in dark nights. So it just depends. And your customers are restricted to whoever opens the door to you. And then we're going to go and complete your planner. Now, if you're like me and you feel that you are already busier, well, guess what? You are going to be busier still. So you do have to learn to use your time efficiently, because I think all of us waste time. We call it me time as we fritter it away. But you know, you still get your me time, but you do have to use your time much more efficiently. The planner helps you do that. It helps you see what you're meant to be doing, when you're meant to be doing. And although you've got it down in the planner, it doesn't mean to say that it's written in stone. It can be amended, but not because it's raining. That's not a reason. Our skin's waterproof, whoopie-doo. And, you know, we dry out. It depends what your thoughts are. You've committed to joining Clean Easy, then you've got to commit to do the work so that you make money. It's nice and simple. But you do, when you're looking at that to complete the planner, remember to include all the little things in your life. Then, once you've done that, do it with your sponsors' help. Look for the pockets of time, because they've usually got more experience, and if they're relatively new, then speak to your credible upline. They've got more experience. They can maybe show you how to juggle things, just even a tiny wee bit. But remember what I was saying earlier, this is meant to help you. So work with it rather than rail against it. And here's the retail income projection. Now, this is from the main book. The K-Life sales are 15%, not 21%. However, what you can do from this is choose where you want to be on that profit scale. And you can see, and it goes much further than this. I knew a chap who was made redundant, who needed to replace £1,200 of income today or tomorrow. And what he did was 500 catalogues out on a Friday, in on a Monday, 500 out on a Tuesday, back in on a Thursday. At the end of the 4 weeks, he had, even with stragglers, picking up stragglers and all the rest of it, he had a profit of £1,200, which is what he was aiming for. He had to do it. He needed his income. Believe it or not, he then moved house about 2 years later, and he did it all over again in a totally different area. But it was no big deal because he had already done it. Here's a completed weekly planner, and I've done this for 200 catalogues twice a week. Now, if we go back to your retail income projection, here you are, 400 catalogues out and collected in a week should give you about £400 in orders, £1,600 of orders over the 4 weeks, with a total profit, including your bonus, of £470. And here's a wee plan. Out on the Friday, I've got a wee 1 beside it, the 200 with a 1. Back in on the Monday. The books you didn't get on a Monday, you can pick them up on a Tuesday. Now, I've done this on a part-time basis. You'll find that this will take you between 14 and 16 hours, depending on each individual, depending on the area that you live in. And it might take you longer the first week because you're learning, but it won't take you as long the second week because you do find your feet. 5 weeks down the line, it won't take you as long as it did 5 weeks or even 4 weeks earlier. So, you know, be aware of those things when you're teaching people or doing it. So you've got 200 books out on a Friday evening, and that gives you a wee bit of scope because you can put them out on the Saturday if you wish, collecting them on the Monday. What I've done is left Saturday and Sunday free. Lots of people like to have that as maybe some family time, children, that type of thing. Out again on the Tuesday, together with collecting the stragglers from Monday on the Tuesday evening. We'll skip Wednesday because the first week you're not going to be delivering an order, and you collect Tuesday's books on Thursday. You input your order online Thursday night. Friday, as well as delivering books, again, you'll collect Thursday's stragglers, and so on. And the order that you input on Thursday night will arrive on Tuesday at the moment. And you'll be able to deliver your order, make up and deliver your order on Wednesday. That's a part-time business, giving you just over £100 a week in profit. Now, if someone says to you, £100 a week? Oh no, I don't know, not a lot. Now, if I say to that person, so do you save £100 a week? What do you think their answer will be? Highly unlikely. And as a bank manager, I never saw it. So once you've got your planner, completed, you know which days that you'll be collecting your catalogues. So you've also decided how many catalogues you're going to be delivering. So now you know how many callbacks you need to print and photocopy. Remember, your catalogues haven't arrived yet. Next, you can decide where you're going to deliver. Get a map of the area. Paper if you can, but Google will give you the street names and the postcodes. Then you can input the postcodes to streetmap.com and you'll find out how many houses are in each street. Close to home is best. 1, you know the area. 2, it's going to take you less time. And as I said, all of this can be done before your catalogues arrive. Use a map to break the streets around you into 5 weeks. Here's this wee man here with his map. And that's all you're going to do, because you're going to go to different people every week for 5 weeks. I do know that some groups do work 4 weeks. And if that is the case, then all you need is more customers each week to give you the same amount of detail than if you're doing a 5-week cycle. You want to deliver to every house on every street. Do it logically and systematically. You only miss out the empty houses. You don't miss streets out because you don't know who's in those houses. It's, you know, often we want to target an area because we think, oh, this looks like a good area. Now, I'm never sure why we do that. They don't have signs in the door, but talking of signs in the door, ignore the signs in the door. If they say that they don't want people who call, I can't remember what the signs say, sorry. But ignore them because they're not intended, usually, for Clean Easy Distributor. They just don't want the person that's maybe got a bag with, for a long time, it was people who were coming around with dusters, dishcloths, things like that, knocking on your door, opening the bag and saying, I work for the blind or I work for the disabled. Can you have a look in my bag and see if there's something you'd like to buy? So generally we don't come under that category. So don't miss those houses out, just pop them through the letterboxes. You'll cover several streets with every drop, particularly if you're doing 200 catalogues. The majority of streets in the area I go to now and used to go to didn't have that many houses in them. But now you know where you're going to go because you've had a look at the map, you've had a look at the streets, you know roughly how many houses are in every street. So you feel a wee bit more comfortable. You want a notebook because you're going to put a date at the top of the notebook and then the street name beneath that and the house number that you've delivered to on the left-hand side of the page. I like to write them down all individually You might not want to do that when you're out and about, particularly if it's kind of wet and you don't want your notebook to get too wet. But you could write from 1, starting at 1, maybe 21 didn't want something, so you could write 21 and put a line through it, and you know that you've missed it. You know, things like that. There's ways round that. And of course, you can order either a stamp or your labels with your name and your distributor number on it. And you can order them before, again, your catalogues even arrive. As soon as you've registered with Clean Easy, you can order that. So now your catalogues have arrived. You can stamp or label your order forms and your catalogues the rear of your main book. Prepare your catalogues the day before you want to deliver. It can be time consuming if you're doing 200. If you've just got 50, then it's not so bad, but 200 takes a wee while. So get them done the day before. If you do it on the day you want to deliver and you're not starting them till 5 o'clock at night, you want to go out at 6 o'clock with your catalogues, I'm afraid to tell you that won't happen. Make all of your catalogue packs look exactly the same. We put the call back on the front, then we have a special log behind that, and then we have the main book behind that. Then on the rear, we have our order form. Always remember, you want the customer to see the order form. But the main reason for doing it like that is not because any of our group are control freaks, but quite simply, when you pick that back up, you can see immediately if somebody's looked at it. That's the first thing you know. Have they looked at it? And you want to know that so that you can build this customer base. So what do you do when you're going to deliver them? Quite simple. You've already decided where you're delivering the catalogues, so off you pop. When you're out there, ignore any other catalogues, regardless of what company it is. Just continue with your plan. Wear blinkers. Your notebook, make sure you've got it, and keep good records, because that is the start of your customer base from day one, and it will pay you very, very well for however long you want it to pay you. We had a customer base for in excess of 10 years, and we then handed that over to another distributor. Some of them didn't go with them. We did it, a letter from us and a letter from the new distributor introducing them. But, you know, some didn't hand over well, but others did. That's a good that's a good pay level every single month. Record the date at the top of the page when you're delivering them. And remember, I said street name underneath, house numbers on the left-hand side of the page, and keep delivering until you've completed the plan that you originally set out. So if you've planned to do 200, do 200. What do you need when you go to collect them? 2 or 3 pens or pencils, because you don't want to run out. A smile, regardless of what someone says or what happens. A towel, not for you if it's raining, but for your catalogues, because you don't want them all to get wet and to infect everyone in the book or every other book in your box. Thank you for your order forms or slips, and sorry I missed your slips. And your notebook, again, obviously, and you want to record the details against every house number. Looked at, I just tick it. Other people might make different marks. That's entirely up to you, but remember, you all want to sing from the same hymn sheet, so try and have continuity. You want to look at it, I tick it. Not looked at, I put a U for unopened, which is what you know if you've picked it up like that. O for an order. If people don't want it, just put an N beside it. Not collected, I leave blank, because then I know where I have to go back to again. Some books will be in your doorstep. Now this does vary from area to area. Sometimes I could put 200 books out, and I could pick up 160. I know that Lynn always said, no, I'll get 140 back out of 200. So it does vary. So, you know, be aware of that. Be aware. But again, once you do it, you'll find your own figures. Knock on the door if they're not there. The only time I put a slip through is if perhaps I'm running out of time. Some books will be in the doorstep. If not, keep it nice and simple. Knock on the door. Now again, I do something that would irritate Lynn greatly, but I want them to hear the door. So I knock on the door and ring the doorbell. Sometimes it's because I don't always see the doorbell, it comes second. I count to 20, and I reckon unless it's a huge, enormous house, they should make it to the door by the time I've counted to 20. If they don't come, I'll pop a slip through and I'll keep going. But usually they'll appear. All you have to say is, I'm here to collect the Clean Easy catalogue. Smile, because you've maybe annoyed them, you've maybe interrupted them from doing something. So, you know, keep that smile on your face. Check every order form as you collect it, either from the doorstep or from the house, for a name and address. Remember, even once you have a customer base, your customers know you. They just don't realise you might be collecting from 100 other customers that day. And you won't recognise perhaps everyone's writing. So do check for a name and address. But if you're collecting your book, completing your notebook correctly with a wee O for order, then at least you've got a fighting chance when you get home. If you can't find the order form and you feel embarrassed, stand there raking for it, then put NOF or something similar against the number. No order form, that's what I do. And then at least you know where you're going to go back to. But slip every house that you get an order from, because remember, you've done your weekly planner, so you know when you're going to deliver those orders. And if you don't collect the catalogue, remember again, you're going to slip them. Sorry, I missed you. And as I said earlier, we do suggest that you try to return the following day for any stragglers. Then record your numbers on the retail tracker. The day, the number of catalogues you put out, number of catalogues you got in, the total sales that you got, and the average per catalogue. Because you see, this will show you that if you want to earn £400 every 4 weeks, like we did from the retail income projection, but your averages are not £1 a book, then at the end of the 4-week period, we will know what your averages are, and we'll be able to adjust either your number of catalogues or alternatively your income, depending on what you want to do. But building to customer base, after 5 weeks delivering, we return to where we started. This time we don't deliver to the people who said, no thank you, we already have a distributor, or if we didn't get the book returned from, if we didn't get the book back. Sometimes, so when I go back round after 5 weeks, I knock on the door and ask them if I haven't managed to reach them. And you know, it's amazing the number of people that open a drawer and say, oh, here you are, and you've got your book back. It's not lost after all. At that point, you can ask them, I'm coming round every 5 weeks. Do you like to have a look at the book? Will I pop it in again? Quite simple. So we continue the cycle for a total of 4 times, or if you're impatient, 3 times. By the 4th time, though, you definitely don't do the no thank yous. Remember, we can make a mistake once, but you definitely don't want to be doing it, too often for your benefit, not for anyone else's. Not returning, you're not going out there to lose books. So if you're not getting books returned, please don't do it twice. If after 3 times they've had the book and they're not giving you an order, they're not probably going to order often enough for you, because you want to build that customer base on a minimum of 4 times round in their ordering. I like my customers now to order. I expect them to order every second time, but that's how your poundage goes up, because you keep cutting people out and pushing more customers at the level that you want to in. The number of catalogues you deliver by cutting those people out will have reduced, but not your orders. Your orders won't reduce. Your orders will continue at the level they're at or increase, because you're delivering to fewer people, but you've cut out all the people who didn't order anyway. So, it makes sense. Be aware though, out of those people who have ordered, some of them will never order again. So cut them off. Give them a book 4 times, no order, no more books. You have to be sensible and ruthless. You want a customer base. You don't want window shoppers. Window shoppers don't give you checks at the end of the month. So you have to, okay, so yes, I still deliver to the wee lady who lives in between 2 customers, who's a nice wee lady and probably doesn't see very many people, and I go and speak to her. But generally try not to. Oops, I've overrun. Sorry, I'm nearly finished. Be aware, as I said, and keep working the system until you're collecting your target amount of orders. Be reliable. Go back the day you've said you will. Return to collect the book. Don't go back the following day or maybe 2 days later. People, if they've left the books out for you, which is what you want, they're kind of not going to be in terribly good condition in the winter time. Be consistent and regular. Work your cycle. Make a plan. Stick to it. It is amendable, that plan, but only for major, not minor. Be dependable. Give good customer service. Refund, replace, or provide the service centre number if they've perhaps bought online and want to return. Whatever's appropriate. Personalise. Have your name, your contact number on all of your slips. Some people put their photograph on all of their slips because they perhaps are in an area where there's a number of Clean Easy distributors and they feel it identifies them quicker. I never done that. I never went to that bother. But have it in everything. Order forms, the lot, catalogues, and your consumable products. And if you keep doing this, you'll build a really strong customer base that will give you an income until the end of time, which is what, now I'm really, really sorry that I've overstepped the mark. My apologies. However,
it's a long training, though, the catalogue retail.
It's a long training with the catalogue retail.
You covered it properly, you covered it well. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
feel a bit stressed now when I see what time it is.
No, I wouldn't worry about tonight. Remember, we've said every time we do the retail training, we think, we went over it. It's got a lot of detail, but at the end of the day, if we're wanting to go 18, if we want to go gold, we have to help other people make money. And the 2 ways that they make it, and right away, is the catalogue and the online. And for anybody who's maybe you can take yourselves off mute if you want to. For anybody who's not been in the business a long time, what we have taught for years and years and years successfully, everybody who comes into the business is that minimum of £1,000. So it's always the first goal for yourselves to go over with the catalogues. One, because we know we can achieve it. Two, because we know it makes a good 250 plus. And three, if everybody in your team does it, you'll always move up the pay plan by helping other people. So thanks for that, Jane. I know.
Thanks, Jane.
There's a lot of good customer bases here. Hiya, Mary. You were known earlier for that.
Yeah.
Yes, Hiya, guys.
Hiya.
Kate, you got me either. I guess we got everybody. Who's going for Go 18? I know some are beyond that, but people who are not beyond that. Anne's going for it. Matthew.
Hey.
Anne Marie.
Hopefully.
Look at that, Fiona's smile just got bigger, Ursula.
The thing I like about it, and I think it might have been Jackie or somebody said at the beginning of the conversation, at the beginning of the training, that Clooney did something similar a few years ago, but
Really?
well, usually you remember, but I can't remember that. But what I love about it is, does it seem more achievable than, say, for example, Gold Distributor? Does it seem like this is really achievable for your people coming in?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
We've always said that 18% is basically halfway to gold. So yes, it's really achievable. Really.
But the psychology, though, Jackie, is the fact that people think this is more achievable to go for it, and then the reality is, I need to teach one person to do that, and I'm a Gold Distributor. You go 18 and have one person in your team going 18.
I think it's
a little bit needed, just shy. Sorry, Jane.
No, my fault. I was just saying, I think it's really clever the way they've introduced those incentives.
I love it.
And put the money in place for. Oops. I hope that wasn't Tracy that was falling. It was just.
I think she's running after the one that wanted to do it at 9.
I just think it's been so clever the way all those incentives follow on.
The ABC alongside it, those fantastic. I mean, to be fair, I think they have launched this, especially ABC for maybe newer team builders, because if we keep on bringing in people and teaching them what to do 500 bonus points and continue to do that, we'll make a fortune. We'll make a lot more than 50 quid here or 50 quid there. I think the clever part is sometimes when you're a new team builder, you don't recognise that part if it makes sense. Like 10 people are doing £1,000 and you're making £1,200. But what they see, the smaller goals, like if I get 50, so it's double edge. You're getting extra money for helping them make money.
Plus, if you do it once and then you do it again, that's your 10 active wide as well.
Exactly. That's a good point.
Can I just ask with that, is that a maximum of £200 per person you sponsor, or is that in total £200?
No, per person you sponsor.
Per person you sponsor.
That's income. 200 income is the maximum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. If they do £2,000 of retail in the periods 1 to 5, that's where you get the 2,000 bonus points.
Yeah. But what I was asking is, like, if you sponsor 5 people and they all do 2,000 bonus points in the qualification period, do you get
200 per person?
You get £200 a person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, any tips before we go? And I'm going to give you some meeting dates in a minute. Any tips before we go from people who are particularly good at sponsoring on how to create success sponsoring?
Right in front of the TV.
They say one volunteer is better than 10 pressed men. But Tracy, you brought in.
Just go. Any volunteers, Tracy? Any volunteers? I'm brilliant at bringing people in. What would be your tip? What do you think is your success?
Is that me you're asking, Lynn?
Yeah, what do you think creates your success? Because she said to me last week, I've only brought 5 people in period 1. I've only brought 5 people in. It's week 1.5 in period 1, and she's saying I've only brought 5 people in.
Oh, it's only 7 now, but it's just being consistent, really. I do by the week, but most of it, I would say 98% of my recruiting is all from Facebook. I recruit on Facebook. I actually got 2 bans last week on 2 of my accounts, so I stopped recruiting about a week ago. I stopped putting ads out because I only had 1 account now. But most of my mines are all from Facebook lead. It's just constant. Just recently, this last period, I was putting out about 60 posts in total per night. Just recruiting posts, 60 in total per night, and I've got 7 people in.
Yeah.
So, but this last week, I've not put any posts out for a week today, because that's when I got my first ban. So,
but you're going to get bans. I think that's what we've recognised, and we just have to work our way through them. Because
I've still brought people in, because I've still got all the messages there for people contacting me. Even though I was banned, I was still bringing people in because I've got messages there and I'm contacting them, getting back to them and things like that. So even though I had 2 bans on 2 accounts, I was still managing to actually sponsor people in.
Lucky you. Got me like that was me all excited with getting my second sponsor since May last year, and you've got 7 in this month.
Keep plugging in the tunes, Matthew. You'll find out how she does it. So you've done well.
Keep with your posting. Like I've got a wee notebook. I've got 3 Facebook accounts. Notebook saying account 1, 2, and 3, and I post 10 posts in one account. About it, and then a wee while later again to another account and post 10 posts, and then a wee while later again do another 10, and I'll do that normally afternoon and then again in the evening. So I've got about 60 posts in the one evening, and then I'll write down where I finished off, what group I finished off in, so I know I'm not going to back in that group again. So I'll go to the next group, I'll look at what group I finished into the next group, so I'm continuing going down, so I'm not keeping posting in the same groups, so you don't get kicked out of the groups. And I'm in over, I would say, about 500 groups in total. So there's loads of groups that you can post over. It's just taking your time, don't do it all at once, so to try and save if you're getting a ban. But it's taking your time and always follow up on all your posts. Always get them to message you first. So Facebook, always say to them, inbox me and I'll give you information. Once they inbox you, then you can message you what you want because they've contacted you first. But always follow up. If you give them a wee link to the site for them to look over, if you've not heard back within 24 to 48 hours, send them another message asking if there are any questions you'd like to ask, anything that they're not sure of. And then if you don't get back to you, I always send a wee message saying, well, I'm sorry it's not for you this time, but if your circumstances do change in the future, do get back to me, and I'll happily get you help you set up, because people's circumstances do change by losing jobs or going redundant or something comes up. And I've recruited people that I've spoken to last year that I've
come back to you.
And then archive everything. So if somebody does come to me and ask me for information, then 6 months down the line, if they come back asking for information, I know they've always previously asked for information. Even though they've deleted all the messages, I've archived them. So I'll know they've already asked for that information, so I know that they know so much ins and outs of it. So it's just keeping talking. Just
well done.
It is well done, Tracy.
Totally well done. But you know what? And then I'm not just saying this because I'm wanting to promote our system, but literally what Tracy's doing is all in the system. And sometimes when somebody produces the results and they do it outstandingly well, what you are doing, Tracy, people say, how are you doing that? And what you're saying is you're doing your 60 posts consistently every single day. You're following them up to the letter, you're archiving them, and you never let up. And that's what creates success. That and the compound effect. You'll find as the more you do it, Tracy, the more people you probably bring in, because you're getting a compounding out there.
To be honest, I'm actually bringing less in, because I was bringing between 10 and 12 people in every period, right until the company had started having problems with over the warehouse thing. And then I stopped. I went on holiday June into July into Mexico. I recruited 12 people in that period, and I recruited three of them when I was in Mexico. And then when all the carry-on went with the warehouse because of things getting lost, they couldn't locate things, I only recruited a couple of people in each month, because I actually kind of gave up a wee bit, not in a bad way. It was disheartening with everything that was going on, so I didn't want to bring people into the business with the way things were going on. But as soon as everything started up again, I've consistently, I think it was 8 last period, 7 this period. The period before that, I think, was 6. I won the best retail for Gavin's sponsoring list twice for bringing new people into the business and getting the best of them off to the new start type thing. So getting them up and running as quick as possible as well.
So, but to be fair, it's less than what it was before the crazy bit there. That's because you did less. It's because you stopped. So again, it just proves it, doesn't it?
Because previously I used to do about 100 to 140 recruitment posts every day previously, right up until the summer there. And even when holiday, I was still doing my recruitment posts every single day when I was sitting in Mexico. And then now I've dropped it down to about 60, but I'm still bringing people in. That's practically half recruitment posts going out, but I'm still bringing people in with that's half.
That's because of the compound effect.
It's just really been consistent all the time. Follow up everything. Don't just leave it. Don't leave them to get back to you, because 9 times out of 10, nobody will get back to you unless they're really eager. Always follow up with everything, because some people are scared to get back to you as well, or they don't know what to ask. And then if you message them and ask if they've got any questions,
Say what I've noticed as well, Tracy, sometimes it's just because people have got busy lives, and it's like, yeah, I was going to get back to you, but you know, like this came up, I delivered 7 pups last night or whatever, you know. So, but we tend to give up too soon in our heads, or sometimes people can give up too soon in their heads. No, until you get Excellent, well done, Tracy. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next 12 months. Anybody got anything else to want to share before I share some meeting dates? We haven't got them set in stone, but I will give you mainly because it's due to hotels having the dates available. But the first System for Success training is Saturday, 27th of January. I know you're all waiting in abeyance, but we're waiting on the hotel getting back to us for February and March, but they're going to be hopefully both the 24th February and March, but the big one coming up is April for our Scottish Millionaires training. Speakers are not confirmed yet, but I know who I'm trying to get, and they're 90% there. It's costing me a lunch. Chills up in Scotland, so it's costing me a lunch probably on Friday. But we've got our managing director coming to our Scottish Millionaires on the 28th of April, as well as hopefully Gil Nicholson and Rob Foster, but didn't put that out until they've said yes. And I've also asked Tracy Payne and Harvey Kent, so get everything crossed. It's good. But if it's not these cracking speakers, you know yourself, we always have cracking speakers, but I can hardly be thinking about the guys who are saying, well, yeah, we just need to check the diary, we definitely come. So, and what I will do is before the end of the week, as we did last year, you can find all these dates. I'll put the dates for the full year on the Make Money for FP System for Success support site, but you can also find them on the Rhino group. It'll be under the documents. But
so
there's some still confirmed. Pardon?
Is it going to be the Mercury Hotel still?
Oh, sorry, Mercury Hotel, unless otherwise stated. I think now, especially the expected growth that we're all expecting this year, I think we've outgrown the house sizzles, and we just want to get a central location that's easy for hopefully everybody all around. And although Livingston's not the bonniest town, it's pretty central Scotland. So the Mercury, unless otherwise stated, that's why I'm saying a bit of question mark with February, March dates, but we'll find somewhere else if they can't do it.
Okay.
I might not be the Millionaires.
Sorry?
I might not be at the Millionaires.
Is that when you're in Vegas?
I was just going to Canada.
No,
To Canada?
maybe. Ontario.
Ontario. Well, hopefully you'll be in Scotland to go to the Millionaires. For those who will be here, it will be Saturday 20. I think it's going to be heaving. It's going to be heaving because it's a lineup that we've never had before. It's well, we've always had a good lineup, but do you know what I mean? Brilliant training coming up. So that's me for now, unless anybody's got anything else. Obviously, we'll see you next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're going to cover, again, the theme is getting new people to go 18. So if we can do a grand with the catalogues, and we can teach them to do a grand online, and the success that I've been getting personally through the marketplace, I sold over £100 in the ICC in Birmingham on Saturday. Right, I didn't want them. I'm saying, stop annoying me. Stop annoying me. So, you know, the two of them together, the opportunity for new people to make well over £500 in the first few months is unbelievable. And that's what we want to get across the new leaders in the business, just how easy to get that Go 18 is, just focusing on getting money in their pockets and teaching your new people the system that you already know pretty well now. And thanks very much for your time. See you all. Thanks very much for tuning in. It was
See you Sunday.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. See you all soon.
Bye.
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 Bye.